Alright, so wherever you are, just stop for a second. I'm just going to take a couple of minutes of your time to tell you something very crucial about the practices in the occult. There are so many people lying to you. There's so many people online talking about grimoires. You have to do this. You have to do that. Look, those are all crutches. Everybody that says you have to do something a specific way is lying to you. Everybody who says you have to have candles for your practice is lying to you. So many occultists, they hate dogma, they hate Christianity, they hate religion because it's dogma. But these people follow dogma. They follow grimoires that were written by people. They follow spells that were written by people who claim to be witches. These people are people like you and I. They think you got to do something ritualized or do something step by step. That's not how the occult works. You know what is the occult? It's all about creativity and intent. That's essentially it. Any occult ritual is creative. It's the way of the artist, and there's nothing more to the ritual. The number one thing, the number one tactic you really need to be able to start with any occult practice and how to become a grandmaster at the occult, it's essentially just to learn how to listen. It's to learn how to meditate. It's to learn how to sit there and express yourself in the moment. There are many ways to do it. I like to have a candle with me. I like to sometimes just get into state. I like to put on binaural beats to just tell my right brain hemisphere, I'm going to start a process. Everything that we're talking about when we're actually speaking about ritual, we're not speaking about something you have to do. It's not a prescriptive means of actually getting to a specific state. Nothing about the occult rituals that you're going to be doing are prescriptive. None of them are necessary for you to be able to surmise a better understanding of higher wisdom. All of these wisdoms that you can get are something you can get in your room. You can get it in your room. You can sit down in your room and you can just start listening to music and get into state. And I hate to break it to you, but anybody who've said anything otherwise is actually lying to you because they have nothing that is concrete to back it up with. None of the books, the grimoires, the magical spells, the step-by-step magical bases, the papyra that actually quoting are actually written by anyone else or just flesh and blood individuals who had some idea and physically just conjured up, pardon the pun, to step-by-step ritualize or dogmatically infuse their occult practices. If people are against dogma, then occult is probably the highest form of dogma. If people leave Christianity for going after grimoires that was written by people, not even by groups of people, but sometimes just by one individual, the thing about the occult to me that's really enticing is working with your demons. Right? I'm not here talking about actual demons. I'm talking about the demons inside your head. This is partly what we're doing when we're nuzzling with the occult, when we're jostling around with it, is we're working with our inner demons. We're starting to play around with our imagination, with our depictions. It's what Carl Jung did, and he wrote about in the Red Book, where he talked about actually doing exactly the same thing. The outsider view would be that he was practicing shamanism. I'm also going to be talking about shamanism very quickly, but essentially the highest practice or the higher virtue of the occult practice essentially is intention and creativity. So it's your intention. You are the centipede, the centrifugal force of your occultic practice. Nobody else and nothing else. There's nothing else that's going to intervene with you. It's all about you, right? The idea around forming a basis or a precis around practicing is essentially just sitting down and listening, being able to get into the state, just listening. The idea of just sitting, basic mindfulness meditation can be a very good thing. Mindfulness are just essentially just the diffusion of sitting and doing nothing, right? So, there's nothing unique, and I hate to use the word occult about it, but it's de-occultizing. And I think this is where I want to come in, is showing people how to de-occultize the occult into such a way where it is pragmatic. It's not about business. It's not about charlatanism. You can reach the higher states by just being present. There's nothing more to it. I really have people understand so many videos about specific rituals, how to do them, and how to reach higher states. There's nothing more. There's nothing proven about their methods and the method that you're using. Your method is something unique and something that you know is true, and that's something nobody can take away from you. That's something I want everybody who's listening to this video to really understand, that getting into the mindset of a magical practice is the only thing you really need. So how do you actually start with your practice? If you're really, really new or you're very, very advanced, you just want to kind of empty your mind, so to speak. Well, the idea is just to learn to listen, like I said before, and to learn how to sit in a quiet space. Make your room your sanctuary of practice. Make your room a ritual. If you're really going to make it into a creative type of tapestry, then start to spice up your room. Make it very ritualized. Make sure that your room is not cluttered. Things like that makes it very, very good. If you're going to be creative, if you actually followed my previous video, it's about getting back from the concrete to the abstract, rather from the abstract to the concrete that we did when we were children, right? We were taught how to get from the abstract to the concrete. Now, as an occultist, we teach ourselves how to get back from the concrete to the abstract, right? How to become more playful, how to become more creative. That's essentially what we're trying to do when we're practicing the occult again. So the whole idea of your specific occult practice, your magical practice, is going to have to be to get more creative.